Protect your DNA. BioPQQ can promote formation of new mitochondria. Infowarsstore.com.
Now let's talk about somebody else going to the slammer. Let's say you go to a graduation ceremony. You know, it's a great time. You know, you have kids, maybe they're in a troubled neighborhood. And I don't know about the town where you live in, but all around the city of Austin, Texas, they have these billboards. You know, X number of kids don't graduate, but 100% of kids need help getting through high school. So if you want to support these kids, now they're saying you can't do that in the state of Mississippi. And we have the article, Family Threatened with Jail for Cheering Graduating Relatives.
You did it, baby!
A week or two later, I was served with some papers.
Papers that threatened to throw them in jail. Superintendent Jay Foster found disturbing the peace charges against them, and officers issued warrants for their arrests with a $500 bond.
The fact that I might have to bond out of jail or pay court costs or a $500 fine for express my love is ridiculous, man. It's just ridiculous.
And if you thought that was the only example, oh, no, no, no. Now we have this Native American student sues to wear eagle feather at graduation.
Somebody called and said that I could wear it as an ornament in my hair. It's not an ornament, it's so much more than that. It's representing who I am and what all I've worked for. It made me really upset because it made me feel like I had to hide who I am.
This is a rite of passage.
It's honoring my ancestors and my elders and just basically everybody who I am, Native American.
So what type of example are we setting for our students? If you go and cheer for somebody, you could be arrested, or if you want to honor your heritage, then oh no, you can't participate. So these are the type of things that our children are being indoctrinated with just to follow the orders blindly. Like even when I went to high school, you know, they didn't want you to bring out beach balls and stuff like that. But you know, if you had a little swag, a little flair, it wasn't that big of a deal. Now they're cracking down on you altogether. You can't cheer, you probably can't even smile or even enjoy yourself. You just have to go and suckle and beg to be let on stage or enjoy the time there in the festivities. So we'll switch gears entirely and talk about the banking system, you know, the cash, the cashless society. And to be straight, you know, I have no issue with people who use credit cards or Bitcoins and stuff like that, but you don't want a completely cashless society where every transaction you make is monitored. And Alex talked about this on the Alex Jones Show today, talking about cookies and doing things such as that. And he gave the example that if you're a company that buys a bunch of plane tickets, they just assume that you have all types of money and they will actually bump up the price of your plane ticket. So that's for all the people who say, I have nothing to hide. No, if your cookies show that you purchased something, they'll just make you, or they'll give you the suggested price that they think that you can actually afford. But now we have this article by Paul Joseph Watson, economist, financial elites fear provoking bank runs. And this is Martin Armstrong. He warns that the financial elites are plotting to abolish cash, but are weary of warning the public because it could cause bank runs. Basically, when everybody wants to go get their money out at the same time. I believe it was that movie, It's a Wonderful Life, if you want to see what that looks like on film. So this is why you don't want to have all your eggs in one basket, whether it's credit cards, whether it's Bitcoins, whether it's cash, whether it's gold, whatever. You want to diversify and have many different ways to have commerce that's not dependent on one particular thing. But, you know, ultimately people are going to do what they want to do anyway. And we'll end with a sign of the times before we go on to more special reports. San Francisco, which I went to, it's not my favorite city in California. I rather enjoy San Diego, but you know, it's nice. It has the Golden Gate and a nice view and all that. It got pretty much destroyed in that movie, San Andreas with The Rock. I went and saw that this weekend. But basically the point I'm getting to with this, they say San Francisco's median rent hit a ridiculous $4,225. Now, you may be saying, hey, they got all those tech companies out there, those guys making the big money. But as it states in the article, it's saying that even those guys are getting to the point where they cannot afford this ridiculous rent. Here in the city of Austin, Texas, I don't even live in a great neighborhood and my rent's going up and up and up. I'm like, the service isn't getting any better. Why do you keep charging me more money? But they have to do that because, you know, the city and all these other things that are going on. So sign of the times, you know, back in the day when you could, you know, get a soda pop and a puppy dog and all that stuff for 99 cents. Now you can't do anything for 99 cents. You can't even get something out the vending machine. It's like $1.19 or $1.20, whatever it is now. So this is what's going on. And after this break, we'll tell you more about what's going on. Rob Dew will have a special report breaking down Bilderberg. He's going to be heading out, I believe, this weekend to go out to see the pageantry, I guess you would say, of the global elite meeting in secret. But you remember way back when they said it never happened, but now that it's happening, yeah, we get together and we, do all these things. We dress up in our robes and walk around, but you don't need to pay attention to that. Just look at this guy over here playing with the puppet. That's what happened last year. But you can find more reports right after this break. This is the Infowars Nightly News.
Joe Biggs here with Infowars.com. Now today we got in our brand new t-shirts. This is the Save America t-shirt with the upside down flag. Now at Infowars.com, in no way are we being disrespectful. In fact, this t-shirt was designed to help inform you and the people around you that will be seeing this t-shirt, because at the very bottom we show you the actual United States flag code, Title 4, Chapter 1, which states that you should never fly the flag with the Union side down unless you're in a dire state of emergency. Now, if you haven't taken a look outside the door or turned on the news in the last year or so, then you would understand that our country, our republic, is in dire need of help. We have a government that continuously spies on us illegally. We have a country that continuously mistreats our veterans and then sends them to stupid, pointless, mindless wars with no truth base behind it whatsoever. And then they come home and they treat them like crap. They throw them on death panels. I myself am a veteran. I've served numerous tours, and I do not find this disrespectful whatsoever. And at Infowars.com, we're here to inform you. So I want to encourage you, the viewer, to go to the Infowars store and pick up your Save America t-shirt. Save the Republic. That's what it's all about, saving the Republic. And this will be a really good conversation starter when you wear this out and go into public. You can help inform people. They'll come up to you, they'll approach you. Some of them might be upset, but you have the opportunity to now sit down, open a dialogue, and explain to a new person that might not know what's really going on, and let them know why our country is in distress. So please go to Infowars store and purchase your Save America t-shirt.
Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. Vote for Jeb, or you're just fucking stupid.
Fool me, we can't get fooled again.
This is Rob Dew from Infowars.com with a special Bilderberg 2015 report. Now next week, myself, Josh Owens, will be traveling to Austria. We'll be meeting Paul Joseph Watson there, and we will be in the Tyrol region, which is a state of Austria, sort of in the eastern mountain region. A lot of ski resorts there, a lot of tourism, but a lot of small towns. And the hotel, the Interhalpen Hotel, where the 2015 Bilderberg will be taking place, is very secluded. We're gonna put a map version up, and you can see it's surrounded by trees and forests. There's a golf course nearby, but then nothing else for about 15 minutes. So it is definitely isolated, and there's a lot of security going on, ramping up for this, and there's a lot being written about that, but not in the American press. It's mostly in the foreign press. I actually had to find these articles. They're from Austrian websites and German websites, even an RT international website, and I had to translate them using Google Chrome. So some of these quotes that I'll be reading from might not be in the most perfect English, but we'll just go ahead and run through those. But before I get to those articles, I just want to let you know we will be providing total coverage while we are at Bilderberg 2015. Both Josh and myself are pretty good editors and cameramen. Plus, we'll have Paul Joseph Watson there providing some of the best intel and using his contacts. So I think we're going to be giving you a really complete picture of what's going on. There's going to be several protests in the towns surrounding the Interhalpen Hotel, and we're going to be covering those as well. So be checking the Alex Jones channel on YouTube, be checking our Ustream channel, and we'll be putting all the links to that in this video so you can check that, bookmark it, and go back to it as Bilderberg takes place. We'll be landing on Monday, on the 7th of June. And what makes this Bilderberg so different from all the others is now we have this war in the Ukraine. So that is going to be on the main agenda of what is talked about there in Bilderberg. Of course, it'll all be in secret. Also about the killing of cash. That is now the new buzzword. We have to get rid of cash so we can let bankers basically not even print money anymore. They're just going to change digits in spreadsheets and thereby giving themselves millions and taking it away from us. And also the amount of foreign immigrants they're going to be bringing into Europe. That will be discussed. They're definitely doing it here on our southern border, and it's not just Mexican immigrants, it's also Central American, South American, and even African immigrants, as we've shown the videos here and showed you the news reports. So there's a lot to be talked about at this year's Bilderberg. So this is going to be a very important one. Also, it is right near the G7. In fact, the G7 is going to be just a few days before Bilderberg, and it's only going to be about 40 miles away in Elmau, which is, I believe, in Germany, the Bavarian area. And so they will be traveling from there to the Hotel Innerhalpen for Bilderberg 2015. ExtremeNews.com reports that the Innerhalpen Hotel is just a 26-kilometer or a 40-minute drive from the Elmau region where they will be meeting for the G7. Extreme News also reports that up to 2,000 Austrian police will be in the area surrounding the hotel. Also, up to 24 specialists from the Anti-Terrorism Elite Unit, which they call Cobra, which I think is really interesting. Cobra being the mortal enemy of the fictional G.I. Joe. And in addition, there's going to be up to 17,000 German police officers on the border ready to come in if called for. And they're estimating up to $360 million being spent on all this security, of course, which the taxpayers are going to be paying for. Journalist Heiko Schrong reported in his newsletter that the abolition of cash, in addition to the issues in the Ukraine conflict and the promotion of refugee flows to Europe, will be on this year's Bilderberg agenda. And I'm sure there will be other issues of importance that will be talked about in this year's meeting, and we'll be getting those through the leaks, through the normal channels of people hearing what's going on there and coming out and saying, hey, this is bad. We've got these world leaders planning some really terrifying things. So we're going to be getting a lot of tips that way. You can rest assured. I found an interesting tidbit on a website called Ausberger Allgemein, and they're reporting that the footpaths and different hiking trails around the Hotel Innerhalpen are already being controlled. And they say, this is interesting, hikers are advised to insert a card in the pack, which I think means have your ID on you, but that's how Google Translator translated this particular article. But we're gonna put the links to all these articles down there, and I encourage you to get them, translate them for yourself, or if you do speak German, maybe put what they're really saying in these in the comments below. The Der Standard contains a report from publisher Oscar Bronner, in which he talks about alternative conferences that'll be taking place, one in Innsbruck and one in Telfs. The Innsbruck one will be more like a conference where people are going to get together to talk about Bilderberg, and Telfs there will actually be a demonstration. Telfs is a really small town, as you can see on this map, and it's about a 15-minute drive down a winding road, or up a winding road, up to the Hotel Innerhalpen. And finally, you can find much more information about the conference and the protest at Bilderberg 2015 Protest, BBP 2015 at gmx.at. They write, our protest platform has been organized deliberately in the city of Telfs and not demonstrated directly in front of the Innerhalpen Hotel, an extensive information program on power and influence of elites in Innsbruck. The aim of our protest platform is to enlighten how powerful elites from industry, banking sector, intelligence agencies, and the military influence our politicians and media companies. Education and information are the most powerful weapon against aberrations of society. And finally, RT International reports Bilderberg 2015, the elite meet in mid-June in Tyrol. And they kind of poke fun. I think they're poking fun at David Icke. It contains a quote here which doesn't really translate well, but they talk about the keep the secret world government, Illuminati descendants, satanic bloodlines, reptilian humans. Such conspiracy theories are used to disguise the true nature of this conference and are often taken back by any criticism. We are against the Bilderberg Conference because they are lobbying at the highest political level that is operated, and this contradicts the demands of democracy and transparency. And that's the big problem that most people have with the Bilderberg meeting. It's that 120 to 150 of the biggest elites in Western Europe and the United States and Canada get together to meet in secret. There's no published agenda, there's no press allowed, and this definitely demands transparency and openness, because we cannot have meetings like this if we are to live in a free world. And this proves that we don't live in a free world, that meetings like this can exist, and the international giant press won't even really talk about it until we force the issue with the alternative media. And that's why Infowars.com is going to be there from June 8th to the 14th, covering everything about the Bilderberg Conference that we can to try to get you the most up-to-date information from the sources themselves. This has been Rob Dew reporting for Infowars.com and Infowars Nightly News, and I'll be seeing you at Bilderberg.
Infowars.